like your regular plug. You just plug it in.
In this development, they're able to catch on to new trends.
Concept of privacy.
With all self-driving and all of that,
they often like to benchmark against the Model 3 or the Y because they're the gold standard. I think even in terms of efficiency, energy consumption, Tesla still is the leader, in the game.
Yeah, and then just a thing, right? Just you talked about benchmarking. There was this big thing on the internet the other day, right? About you had these 25 electric cars, Chinese electric cars, on a Chinese highway, and the government had to shut it down. And then one of the cars,
it's the
one of the cars was
yeah.
Tesla. Was your input a part of this experiment?
Well, first of all, any videos, any tests that these Chinese organizations, official or unofficial, the results that I put out, anytime I look at them, I will take them with a grain of salt, because there's no this Dongchedi, right? You're referring to Dongchedi, which is really a kind of a Chinese media outlet, somehow turned into, in the US, there's Consumer Reports, which often does these vehicle tests, and they rate these vehicles, plus or good or not good. So the way they conducted these tests, I will question, first of all, whether they're apples to apples, and then second, even if the results showed one model being better or superior than the other, we still have to consider the conditions that they were in versus the real life. You can never say a vehicle is 100% safe, despite what the collision test they show in the marketing materials. Xiaomi, right? Xiaomi, there was an accident that killed 3 young ladies. Right? That was such a scrutiny that they had to recall. They had a recent recall, and Adrian had to be silent for quite a few months because of this accident. So I wouldn't, based on that Dongchedi test of however many vehicles, I wouldn't draw the conclusion that, okay, Tesla did worse or one did better.
So it's all about the situation that they're put in.
Yeah. I think as a consumer, as a driver, as a passenger, you have to be, understanding as a driver what your responsibilities are, instead of over trusting the system. I think we're not there yet. We're not in the science fiction of these pods that will take you everywhere.
Okay. So
Are we going to see that in our lifetime? Maybe, but we're not there yet. So as a driver, you have to know what the car's capabilities are. That's the yeah.
I think I was wondering, right, with all self-driving and all of that, how does like Chinese EVs and what is like the big brands and the top brands in this compare to full self-driving and stuff with Tesla?
I would say quite a few brands that are ahead of the game. They're probably much better than FSD. What we have FSD in the US here. In China, FSD is not available yet because of restrictions and what you need to be approved. I think Tesla is still waiting for some approval to get that going, and also because of the data training and transfer restrictions on both sides of the Pacific. Tesla is at a disadvantage when we talk about the capabilities of FSD in China. So the Chinese brands and the Chinese OEMs, let's say Huawei, Xpeng, Li Auto, even I'll say NIO, quite a few of these brands, they're very much ahead of Tesla when we talk about FSD, which in China it's called L2++, door-to-door or point-to-point or parking space to parking space, advanced driver assistance system capabilities. I've experienced one of the latest just last month, and it's incredible what it can do.
How
Right?
close is
You
it to
can,
like you can sleep in the
huh?
car? Like how close is it to that?
No, no, no. I mean, you're as a driver again. You're still responsible, no matter how many plus you add after level two, right? But the capabilities of the vehicle itself, when you're monitoring, when you're fully paying attention, the capabilities of the vehicle itself is incredible. And not only one brand, one OEM, multiple OEMs outside of Tesla.
Yeah.
Personally, see a vision, like envision a world where human driving is more for the like feel of it and like not on day to day. Because personally, I think, however, like AI could do driving much better and much safer. Like the amount of deaths that we have and the amount of injuries that we have for human error, like due to human error, would be significantly higher than AI making mistakes. You know.
Yeah, I recently in the IA mobility in Munich, I tried four different solutions from four different Chinese companies. These are tech companies, uh, and they were all very human-like. Obviously, there are some differences, but what I'm saying is the capabilities now are incredibly good in terms of mimicking human driving in different scenarios, highways, local roads, traffic. Uh, it's, I mean, I wish you guys could experience, and it's difficult to convince or translate that into your understanding without experiencing it, but
Yeah.
it is very far ahead in
Yeah.
terms of capabilities.
In
So I
India, we barely have any self-driving at all. Like the the big like the best self-driving that we have is cruise mode in India.
yeah. I think the government.
ACC, right? Maybe ACC.
Yeah, the government plays a huge role in. I think
Yeah,
regulations is the best. I mean, is a roadblocker to a lot of innovation.
yeah. Where do you get testing? Where the regions or the districts or locations are open for testing?
Yeah.
I mean, China is very. There's multiple regions where fully driverless taxis they either test or already commercially operating. You have to have the government regulatory support for for you to able to progress forward.
Um, and I had another question, right? You see, in the AI sector, right? You have a period of where like most AI feels the same, and then all of a sudden one company just comes in and like boosts the benchmark by a lot. Like you see this in Sora, right? The AI
Hmm.
video making software. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
up until
I
now,
just downloaded, but I don't have a code.
yeah, you see the
You
codes
need an
going on
invite
eBay
code or
like
something,
a
right?
lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that up until this company comes up, right? You have everything looks the same and it's bad. AI can't do videos, right? It can't
Mhm.
get hands right. It can't get expressions right. And then you have Sora that comes in and then nails video making. It's funny.
Mhm.
It has a script. The I think the storyboard, right? It's good. So do you see something similar in the EV sector?
Almost like are you referring to like a Model 3 moment
Yeah,
or
like something
what,
a company that makes a major breakthrough and then everything else
I
follows
think
through.
the next major breakthrough is indeed what Tesla is trying to do. And I think quite a few of the Chinese competitors are up there in what they're trying to achieve is the so-called the personal AV, right? The personal level 4 autonomous driving vehicle. Uh, and I think we're definitely close to it. maybe in the next couple of years, we'll see such things happen
Yeah.
where,
Yeah.
right, what your vehicle can be put into a fleet. Uh, because now level 2 plus plus is pretty much in China these days. I'd say very popularized that if you don't have this type of capabilities, you're not going to sell. And so the next stage of iteration, the next capability is really to have this so-called personal level 4 vehicle that you can own, that you can buy, but also can put into a fleet. Tesla is trying to do that. Quite a few Chinese car makers or OEMs are trying to do that as well. And you know, uh, it's going to be within months, if not years, that we could see this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is about your career, right? Your job as a EV
Oh,
analyst.
I put many hats on.
Yeah. How do you get money from a job like this? How do you monetize your job? Because there's no straightforward path, right? Of
No, I think, well, probably speaking from experience, I don't, first of all, I don't have a 9 to 5 job
Mhm.
that I earn a fixed salary. So the way through my, I think this is the way how I monetize myself, my brand is through many years of experience, especially being on the ground in China, covering the industry. And through that expertise, the what I do on the side, the consulting projects that I have is on a per project basis. Uh, this could be simple as a in-depth report, which I have done recently. That took me about a year, uh, and then you get, right, you get a stipend or whatever salary you want to call it
Oh, is this
through.
for social
Well,
media or like car companies or like I don't know.
it could be through a third party organization.
Yeah, but is
Uh,
that like is the third party like trying to make it for the social media or is it using it for like the
no,
company?
it's off the record. It's only for, it's an organization that uh, looks for experts for this report, which will be read by their client, for example. That's one way. The other way is, I can do content.
Oh,
That's one way to make money, right? This is what you guys trying to do. Keep doing it. Uh, third is really just again these something that I'm doing currently is working with a Chinese vertical portal, let's say a Sina or a Sohu, which they have periodic inside reports that I help um, edit.
Yeah.
So many ways, but it helps me make a living. I don't, I don't have a fixed salary or, uh, but
Okay.
and I continue to be focused on this China EVs
Yeah.
and that
Um,
okay.
I think Lay, it's been
you guys are still young, so I think if I was in your space, I think uh, you have a lot more tools, whether it's AI tools or whether it's tech tools to do what you want to do compared to when I was at your age, which is like 30 years ago, right?
yeah.
Uh, so I think the opportunities are huge, but the only thing that I want to say is these days it's difficult to stick to like focus, like for me that I couldn't think of doing anything else but to having covered the Chinese EV market. Uh, if I want to switch profession, I think it would be very difficult for me to do. But I think just focus, be resilient, and use the tools that are available to you. Sora, right? ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT all the time in my work.
Same here.
Right? DeepSeek, whatever, Doubao, yeah, some of the Chinese ones. Um,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's like about time. It's been an hour, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to go, but
Yeah.
let's wrap this up, right? One of our points was Rimac is the best. Rimac Nevada, it's a supercar. So we're not gonna
Yeah,
go
I've
straight
seen
into
quite
that.
a few of those in my travels.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go
Um,
straight into that, but like, what do you think some Western countries, Western EV companies, right, are doing wrong, as opposed to like Chinese companies? Because when you directly compare them, the first thing that stands out is the price. Western EVs are
mhm,
just way more expensive than Chinese EVs, right? What do you
mhm.
think
I think
they're
that's
doing wrong?
regulation. I think it's probably just regulation that's causing it to be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Rahul, you said, put the, you kind of said what I wanted to say actually. Uh, it's a lot of it is it's also with culture, because the legacy, when you have that legacy culture, uh, it's difficult to move fast and iterate fast and pivot. Where the Chinese are doing that. And when you have a industry, a top down approach, what the country wants to do, what the industry wants to do, there's a clear roadmap. The Western, they don't. The regulations change, which does not help as an OEM in order to plan ahead. Whereas China is pretty much fixed a route. It could be tweaked here and there, but the long-term pathway is there, which the Western countries they don't follow. Maybe that could be the reason. It's not so much the companies themselves; they do play a role, but um, it's also the talent. I think the Western really. I mean, Tim Cook said this, right? Of Chinese products, it's the talent that the Chinese have that maybe the Western world underestimate. Engineering talent.
Yeah.
Same for India, right? I mean, the engineering talent is incredible. Yeah.
Okay. Last and most important question for today. How was your day?
What was the question? Sorry.
How was your day?
How was my day?
Yeah.
My day has been great. Uh, Nice to talk to you guys, especially as young as you are. Gives me a sense of what you're curious about. I didn't know you guys were this young, but I don't mind. I mean, I love to talking to being, especially now. I mean, I say the way to answer this question is every time I go back to China, when I visit these companies, when I talk to these companies, the most impressive thing is how young their talent are.
Thank you, Mr. Lei Shing, for hopping on our podcast. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe because we have crazy things planned.